Good morning. Today we begin with North Africa and Southwest Asia. This is one of my favorite topics in world regional geography, and I'm really excited to start. So let's go ahead and begin. What we always start with is definition. So the question is, how do we define North Africa and Southwest Asia? First, let's look at the area on the map. We'll go to the big map. I'm going to use the big world map for most of this region for the simple reason that we don't have a North Africa, Southwest Asia map. Many of the maps only cover Africa. Some of them cover Asia. Some of them cover parts of Asia, but it's very difficult to find a map of North Africa, Southwest Asia. So I'm going to use the big world map, and for another reason too, it will set it into reference with the rest of the world, which I really like to do at the definition stage. So how do we define this realm? Okay, we will first look at the limits of it. So in this realm, we're going to have, of course, North Africa. And North Africa here will be the Saharan Desert portion of it, which will include this transitional zone here, which is at the southern boundary of the Saharan Desert. So that's North Africa. And of course, the Mediterranean, parts of the Mediterranean, which the southern part of the Mediterranean Sea, the Saudi Arabia and the Arabian Peninsula. There will also be included Turkey, which you can see here, and also some states that are on this side, the eastern side of the Mediterranean. And we won't include the region of Turkestan. Turkestan is, I will say this though, Turkestan is often included in this realm. We just aren't going to cover it today because of time allowed. But that would include the states of Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan. So those we won't include. But they're often included into this realm. So what defines this realm? What is it that makes this realm what it is? Why do many geographers agree on the states and the places that are included here? Well, one might say that it's a dry place, that it's desert, because a person it's often named the Middle East. We'll get to that in a moment. But many think of the Middle East as all desert, all sand dunes, no water. Well, this isn't true. If you look at the Atlas, the beautiful Atlas Mountains up here and around the Mediterranean, some of the most fertile, beautiful places that grow the best foods and spices, and there is water in. But overall, yes, there is more desert, more arid places than there are places with a lot of water. Let's also look at some other fertile places, the Nile Valley here, and which there's two ancient civilizations and culture hearts here, the Nile Valley, and also Mesopotamia, which can be equated in the Bible as the Garden of Eden with the Tigris and Euphrates. These are culture hearts with early civilization locations. So it's dry, but it's not all dry. What is another way that it can be defined? The Middle East. Well, it's the Middle East, but what if you live there? If you live there, it's the center of the world. So it is not east of anything, it's the center. Also, what if you live over here? It's west of that. So Middle East, that's why we don't use Middle East to define the realm, because that depends on someone's perspective. It really is only east of places that are over here. So Europe and North America chiefly. So we do use NASWA, or North Africa, Southwest Asia. Okay, so what does define it? Why do we pick those places? Well, we can say this. It is the birthplace of the three one-God religions. The first one God religion being Judaism, which went for many, many centuries before the time of Christ, and the biblical floods, everything in the Old Testament. And then we have Christianity arising from Judaism. And of course, that calendar would start at 0, which is the Christian calendar that is used in a lot of places, not everywhere, but a lot of places use this calendar that starts at 0, and then there's before Christ and there's after Christ, or AD. Now it's called BCE, which is before Christ, and AD is after Christ. But there's that 0 point of the birth of Christ, the one that is noted in records and used. Then Islam, which it arises out of that same root, that one God root that Judaism and Christianity arose from, so did Islam. And Islam has many of the prophets, saints, shares history, many attributes of similarity with the other two. So Islam is the most prevalent influence in this realm.